Hey, everybody, Stu Smith here going live. Hope you are doing well. We are going to be talking a little bit about swimming today as well as taking your questions. I will say this got a couple good videos I want to show you guys. Some of them, or I should say, one of them's looking really good, like close to sub 7 pace with with the CSS, which I was shocked to see he was capable of doing that. And now he's just got to get in shape to do it. And hopefully he'll be, there's no need to get sub 7. Um, because to be honest with you, nobody really cares what your PST scores are after the first day of buds. And you got a long 6 months after that. And most of your swims will be with scuba fins. And um, most of any non-swimming fin or non-fin swims will be mostly treading or drown proofing, underwaters, life saving, knot tying. So there's different skills you need to learn than just swimming the combat swimmer stroke. My advice would be if you're already sub 8, don't worry about setting a goal for sub 7. Work on other things that are not good, whether that is upper body strength or calisthenics or running or rucking or treading water. All of those things are going to matter. And to be honest with you, if you've crushed the PST, you're done with phase 1 of tactical fitness. Now, you need to pass it again later on after boot camp, but if you've crushed it, you've built some gravy in there to where even on a bad day, you can still pass it and continue on with your spec ops dream. Unfortunately, I've seen many people who barely pass the PST, barely get a uh, spec war contract, with the minimum standards, and then they go to boot camp and they get out of shape. They don't continue to improve. And they never really had a chance to prepare to get through training. So they never swam with fins. They never did treading. They never ran 4-mile runs. They never rucked. And guess what happens? It's not pretty. They're done, pretty much. Um, so remember, phase 1 of tactical fitness, crush that PST. You do that long before you talk to a recruiter, you're in good shape. Phase 2, you could be in the delayed entry program focusing on getting through buds, maintaining your PST scores. Everybody's happy. Recruiters are taking you seriously. You got a ship date. Hopefully, that ship date is aligned with your performance to be able to get through the training. It is really that simple, but it's also very hard to do. You want to get to the training in order to get through the training. And they're two similar, but specifically different enough to where you need an extra few months of training, if not several months of training, depending on your athletic history and certain or current physical abilities. Let's see. Got some pictures or questions here. Did the pyramid workout with sit-ups this morning that Stu dropped yesterday? I was smoked. Feeling great now. Yeah, that's classic, man. I've been doing that one since the 80s. So if that's your first time, welcome to a lifetime of the PT pyramid. It's a great go-to, I promise you. Alex, good to see you too. For the guys you've trained who are heading into the program, how do they try maintaining fitness through basic and before heading to Coronado? I've heard guys running laps in the rooms. Running in place, lots of lunges is a really good one. Leg days, get your leg days of squats and lunges, wall sits. Um, Always do flutter kicks, sit ups, push ups, burpees. Those are good when you get an opportunity to run. If you can find a pull up bar, sometimes you can find the pull up bar in the laundry rooms if you're doing laundry duty. Do pull ups there. That's always a good idea. But the big thing is just, keep your lungs going. Burpees and lunges are probably a good 1-2 punch to keep your lungs going, your chest going, as well as your legs, because that's what's really going to matter. You're basically need to prepare to get out of shape at boot camp, but you do your best to avoid getting completely out of shape by working out 20 or 30 minutes before everybody wakes up is my recommendation. If you can go 45 minutes, even better. I messaged you recently on Instagram about ISTs. How should these fins help me? And is there any particular workout I should do? How often? Yeah, man. I mean, every leg day in this book, in this book, in this book, in this book have swim with fin workouts in them. You just got to swim with fins. Got to get used to it. Now you can mix it in with freestyle, CSS. You can mix in some turtlebacking, but yeah, man, get on a program. Do your fins on leg days. It's not that hard. This is hard to put a metric on, but how many months, years should someone have under their belt using fins before heading into phase? Jeff often talks about how this is crucial for success. Um, well, speaking for myself, I had about 2 years of swimming with fins, and I started swimming. I probably started swimming too much at one time and got some tendonitis. I was just swimming with fins every day, 5 days a week, but I would do both. I'd swim, 1,000 without, 1,500 with every day. End of the week, it wasn't an astronomical number of mileage going up. Probably had about between 7,500 and 10,000 yards swimming with fins. Um, However, in hindsight, we have been doing fins only on leg days, and sometimes when we add a third, it's with a spec ops triathlon. So we'll do a soft sand run, soft sand ruck, and we'll do an open water swim with fins. So we'll get a third mile of swimming in there. So we typically do anywhere between 2,000, 3,000 yards on leg days with fins, and just get good at it. You want to be able to get good at it to where um, where your um, ankles no longer hurt and you're just able to get after it and keep moving nonstop without having to rest. Sorry to work out today. There was a girl. Yes, we did have a young woman who's in college. She's a midshipman at like a maritime academy. Yeah, she did well. She did hill day yesterday. Crushed it. Did a lot of legs with us. She is. I'm not sure what she's applying for if she's even doing military. She may be doing merchant marines, but she was here with a friend that they go to college together. But yeah, she's tough. Let's see. Let me share something with you guys. For some reason, my email is not liking my video attached files and um, So I gotta do a different way. I may have to do like WeTransfer or something with these videos. So I'm gonna just have to share some of my updates on TikTok or Reels. Maybe do Reels. Let me go to Instagram. If you guys haven't been to my Instagram page, there's a ton of um, swimming videos over there on my Reels. Guys, check that out. But check this. Check out this right here. So let's go over here. So this is my Reels page. This is me when I was 18, by the way. Mother's Day video I made. But check out this one. This one's pretty good. You guys see this? No, you can't. Come on. Where are we? Come on, Reels. What is going on? All right, something is wrong. We have to go to TikTok. I just posted this one up this morning. Let's see how this one looks. You guys can see that. Okay, here we go. So let me back this up. So we have, all right, so kicking off the wall. He's a really good streamline off the wall, decent double arm pull, but notice he's kind of loosey-goosey on the arms. You could be a little tighter, like keep those arms tight to you, right? No need to be way out there on your recovery. Just slows you down a little bit. I mean, I'm being very nitpicky right here. So we got top arm, bottom arm, kick and glide. I'm not a fan of this little 3 to 4 flutter kicks that are going on between the or during the top arm pull. I mean, it's somewhat common to have a little bit of a kick when you move your arms. It's just like you move your arm, you move your leg, it happens. But this is a little bit too much energy, in my opinion. He just needs to keep his legs together and still whenever he is gliding and pulling. Some of those aren't too bad. Some of them look like it's a big waste of energy. This looks a little better. Yeah, see, you don't need that extra kick in there. And I tell you why, it just adds up and it just makes you um, really tired and you start getting slower in your 500, especially if you're a non-swimming athlete trying to learn how to swim and trying to learn how to swim fast. You know, there is a swimming conditioning that is part of this. And if you're not a competitive swimmer, it's just that much harder. There's a question here. How do I get better at my kick? I feel like I don't have any propulsion once I kick to maintain my glide. Good question. My suggestion is practice jumping lunge. So you go deep into a lunge position and then jump and land with your feet together. That's going to start helping you, create that power that you need to shut your legs really fast and push water behind you so you go forward. That makes sense. Do you have any drills or advice for kicking off the wall? How do you train your guys typically? Oh, we just kick off the wall and are very streamlined about it. So my suggestion is don't ask me, go to the professionals who kick off the wall using what is called the breaststroke pullout. Like if you just Google the term breaststroke pullout, you'll be amazed at streamline, power kicking off the wall, the power pull. In fact, I'm just going to show you. Breaststroke pullout. I usually put this one into because I like this one so much. You put one into the video link on this. So let me share this with you real quick. So one thing I have on my pull, breathe, kick, glide article is probably a video like this showing you what streamlined body position is, what a powerful pull is, and what let me see how this looks when I enlarge it. What's it look like? That looks better. Yeah, let's do this. So we got a big kick off the wall. Look at that. See that streamline right there? That is a streamline. Basically, what he's doing here is he's dipping his head and he's about to get some power into his whip kick. See that right there? Boom. That is a streamlined body position. And then he comes up for a breaststroke. We would just come up for a see where the dolphin kick comes in? Like the dolphin kick is not just bending your knees like that. Notice he bends his hips. It's like a whip all the way down. So he starts in his head down, goes into his hips, whips down into his feet. That's a dolphin kick. Then he's got that big double arm pull. And then notice his head's tucked, his biceps are on his ears. Then he holds it down like that again. Comes up, boom. That is a breaststroke pullout. So you want to learn how to kick off the wall? Watch videos like that. Was trench foot something you had to deal with in buds? Nah, I never did. I mean, you're wet all the time. But you do what you can by, drying off your feet. And, when I say when the day is done and the weekend's here, it is all about licking your wounds, whether you have cuts on your feet or blisters or whatever. It's drying them out with alcohol, Neosporin, just letting the air, wear sandals and let your feet air out. Very important. I'm 5'9", 5'10", 160. I'm finding it difficult to put on muscle. I feel like I'm putting on fat instead. Right now, I'm at week 4 of your cows and cardio. This winter, I put on 15 pounds during the lift cycle, so maybe that is the reason. Perhaps. I mean, are you losing muscle and weight? I mean, that's the one thing I would look at. And maybe, after 4 weeks of cows and cardio, it might be time to go back to a lift cycle. It's nice to take a break of this, but not everybody needs a 12-week cows and cardio cycle or a 24-week cows and cardio cycle. Some people who, if you're trying to put on weight, may need to take a little bit of time off of lifting and then get back into lifting again. But if you feel like you're putting on fat, add a little cardio at the end of your weight sessions. Here's my recommendation. My recommendation would be to warm up with some cows and cardio, just a little bit, maybe 15 minutes worth of cows and cardio. Then lift heavy or however you like lifting. Then end it with some nice little cardio cool down. That's probably going to help you more with just leaning out a little more and keeping your muscle. So consider that. How about anybody else? Anybody else have any questions? I'm going to go back to Instagram here real quick. If I could, it's like really going slow these days. I guess the reels are slowing down my computer. What I'd like to do is show you some of my really older ones before I started doing TikToks. Because what I started doing is I realized that I wanted a place where it's easy to find hundreds of CSS critiques. So I created a TikTok channel that has nothing but CSS critiques on them. And that's what, this TikTok channel is all about. So what I've been doing is I've been making voiceover critiques with TikTok because it's a great little app for that, and then putting them up onto Reels on Instagram. Had a little frog in my throat there. But anyway, there's still a whole bunch of very useful combat swimmer stroke videos in the TikTok. I'm sorry, in the reels. You just got to go back, and it's probably 90% swim videos in there, but you'll see a couple of shared ones and things like that. Let me, I'm going to share this one with you though, because a lot of people ask me about a good swim stroke to do if you have camis on. And I use the elementary side stroke for that one. So check out check out this. If you're not familiar with the difference between elementary side stroke and the CSS, I want you to watch this and check this out. So this is the elementary side stroke. And imagine, so it's not very efficient, but he's got his mouth head out of the water and he is able to um, just constantly breathe whenever he needs to. Because when you're swimming with fins, or sorry, swimming with camis, top and bottom, and no fins, you are really plowing through the water hard and you got no glide almost. So that is the elementary side stroke. I like this one. And he changes sides coming back. It's not beautiful version of swimming elementary side stroke, but it is not bad. Now I will say this. I saw a competitive swimmer using this stroke and he got a sub 7 500-yard elementary side stroke swim, which this can be used for the 500-yard um, underwater recovery stroke swim for the PST. Yeah, but I would say this is very similar to what they used to use in the 70s and 80s. A little more elementary side stroke version. It's kind of evolved since then. So let's see what we got here. I'm going to show a few other ones. Oh, this is, I don't know, this one just popped up again. This is me, and it's not very good. It's a little bit too, um, that kind of sucks. That's just a bad video. That's me swimming though. Let's see. Maybe this is better. Oh, I lost my drawers. All right, so this is me swimming one of several times you'll see me swimming the CSS. So top arm, bottom arm, kick, hold the glide. So I try to, hope I don't lose my pants again. All right, that's good. I didn't. So top, bottom, kick and glide. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, pull. There you go. Not bad. That's why I tell you what. That's what I like about the reels and the TikTok is you can just go one after the other. See the fins that you need to swim in. So this is our leg day. Somebody asked about swimming with fins earlier today. This is our leg day swim, and we are just swimming laps with a big pair of scuba fins. If you have not started swimming with scuba fins and you have a contract, you're behind the 8 ball. I would definitely get used to wearing these big rocket fins or jet fins. Like those right there don't count. Those are just easy. But if you've never swum in fins before, they're a good starter plan. And but you need to get your set of jet fins or rocket fins if you're going to do this. But you'll feel it. You'll feel it in your ankles for sure. So anyway, tons of stuff over there on Instagram Reels and over on TikTok. But my first generation of sharing combat swimmer stroke videos was on YouTube. So back whenever YouTube came about, when 2007, 2005, I don't know. I was sharing combat swimmer stroke videos up on YouTube back then. And you can see some of those. 2 questions. 1 month before Navy boot camp. rate LS. Any suggestions? Or is that IS with dot in the middle? My PRT is fine to pass so far. I suddenly found a wart on the inside of my foot. Will that be a problem for MEPS? It could be. I got a question for you though. Are you going to buds after this? I mean, I assume if you put it this way, if you're not going to buds or like something difficult after boot camp, I mean, you're going to be fine. I mean, Navy boot camp is not difficult at all. It's difficult because you're learning a lot of new stuff. You're doing some somewhat tedious attention to detail, which will save your life one day. So don't blow it off. And you learn some discipline. So there's nothing wrong with that. Uh, so, um, but yeah, if you're planning on going to buds, you're going about it the wrong way. But if you're just planning on joining the Navy, it's not that big a deal. Notice the HRT people or picture behind you for guys you train who went through it. How did they find most challenging and how they prepare? Yeah, HRT picture. We've had a bunch of different FBI agents who are in local branches nearby come join us, preparing for their SWAT team or preparing for their HRT, and they just do everything that we do. That's same guys, same thing the guys are doing preparing for buds. Because I tell you why, there's probably at any one time probably 10 to a dozen former SEALs and special ops guys running those selections for HRT, and they're gonna go with what they know, and it's very buds like they have basically like a hell week of selection. That is no joke. Lots of weighted runs, running upstairs, hills. So, we ran a lot of hills, and I would say to the person it was very helpful for them to be able to run hills. Help them a lot with weighted carrying, stair running, and other just long endurance workouts. During summer, do you still go to the pool or just open water swim? We do both. And there comes a time in the summer we cannot swim in open water because it's just too many jellyfish. So we just go to the pool. Probably by July, late June, early July, we can't swim until September because the jellyfish are just ruining the water. And it sucks because I mean sometimes we try it just to test it out to see how bad it is, and within 100 yards you're stung 10 times. That's like if you're stung once in 100 yards, I'm like, yeah, I can handle that. But 10 times in 100 yards, I'm out. Even when I wear long pants and long sleeves, it still sucks. They find a way to touch you. Wart does not hurt. I'm worried that if I take over the counter prescription, it may get worse to stop me from shipping. So far, no problem for a walk or run. I mean, they may notice it. They may give you a treatment for it there too. So I'm not sure it's going to be that big of an issue. So, but I don't know, to be honest. You could ask your recruiter and just see. And if it delays your shipping, big deal. Plenty of boot camps per year. Morning Stew, about to start your PST phase 1 book. What weight kettlebell should I use for the swings? It's up to you. I'm 150 pounds. Run times 930 through rep deadlifts is 250 if that matters. Here's the deal. Find a weight that you can do because whenever it's a swing, I typically do 20 reps. So find a weight that you can do 20 reps. Fairly not easy, but not to failure. So somewhere in that range. So I really don't set up a weight recommendation because I know not everybody has the same amount of weight and rep abilities that, say, I would or someone else. So it's kind of you have to personalize it for you. So whenever I say bench press 10 reps, what can you do 10 reps in without failing and without being so light that you could have done 20, right? You don't want to be there. You want to be, if I say 10, you should be borderline failing at 11 or 12. So how can I get my scissor kick stronger? I feel, didn't I just answer this question? Being short is okay. I mean, I got a short little wrestler right now that's swimming sub 8. So, um, he's got a good little power kick in there. My suggestion, if you didn't hear me say it earlier, it is jumping lunges and put on a pair of fins and do some scissor kicks with your fins on. And I promise you, your scissor kick without fins will get stronger. My weight's remaining the same, if not increasing slowly, but I feel like I'm losing muscle and putting on fat instead. Feel like and are two different things. So, you know, your feelings aren't shouldn't be a part of this. Um, are you or are you not? But like I said, you don't need to stay in the cows and cardio for more if you don't feel like it's working for you. Move over to the weights again and see how that treats you. And then use cows and cardio cycles as like a month break from lifting because you need it. Sometimes, we lift too much, we run too much. Next thing you know, we're getting injured or things get stale. So that's how I would do it if I were you, Flavio. That's not advice for everybody, but for your particular situation, that's how I would do it. I gotcha. No buds means you're not going to buds, or no, I'm going to buds. However, my PST scores are still in the passing zone. Good. All right. So, how many classes for SEALs and SWICs per year? Usually 5, maybe 6, sometimes 4. So, there's 3 phases at buds. So, they typically do not run um, 2 classes in the same phase. I mean, you may see a first phase pre-Hell Week, post-Hell Week before they move over to second phase, but rarely, if ever, do they have 2 classes in the same phase. So, that's spread out. You're going to have about 4 to 5 classes a year max. All right, let me see. Let me share another one with you. We're just going to go to looks like the Instagram Reels page, and let me see what we're doing here. See what this one is. So another fin swimming day. Oh, this is awesome day. This is one of our Spec Ops tries. So when we do a Spec Ops try, we get the whole pool. We load up the pool with like 10 people per lane, and you just have to merge into traffic and do your swim as best you can, not get hit by people. Yes, you will get kicked in this workout. So some guys are doing CSS, some guys are doing freestyle. Everybody has fins on. Good stuff. So this group right here are just learning how to swim. So I have a group here that's just needs help with swimming lane 1, and everybody else is getting after it. So passing people is really difficult. But usually what you do is you give the old international signal of grabbing their fin close to the wall. That's the signal of them to stay on the wall. You get in front of them on the walls. That's how we do it. Let's see what else we got here. As you can see, there's some silly ones in here as well. See what this guy looks like. So some of these are guys that just need help with swimming. Some guys are learning. That's how it works. Not bad. But as you can see, it's one kick, take out all those little flutter kicks. Getting better, though. Definitely getting better. Let's see. Little tread drill. So usually what I do is I start people off with a little breaststroke kick, and then we start pushing water with the inside of your foot down to the bottom of the pool, and then we start alternating the kick to make it look more like a egg beater. There you go. So some people just have tight hips, knees, and ankles, and this is a little difficult for them. But treading's tough, especially if you're negative. If you don't move your arms and legs and you sink to the bottom quickly, I promise you treading will be hard, and expect it to suck. Yeah, you should feel this on the inside of your knees and outside of your hips, because you're working those muscles pretty good in these events. Skip treading at your own peril. I promise you, treading is one of those things that is easily the most neglected activity that people regret that they didn't practice. Because everybody's like, oh, yeah, treading, that's easy. It's kind of like me when I was 18 years old and doing sit ups. Oh, sit ups, that's easy. I can do that. Well, my first sit up test, I failed because I thought sit ups were easy. And then my second one, I did really well. My third one, I maxed. So it was just a pacing drill more than anything. Somebody mentioned the sit up thing I put out, or somebody mentioned a pyramid, but I just put out a new sit up push workout over on Stu Smith Fitness. In fact, I'll share it with you guys. So you guys know about my push up and pull up push. I made one for sit ups. So check this out. I'll share this with you just so you can kind of see where it is. In my articles of the week page. So when you go to StuSmithFitness.com, there's an articles link right here. So this is a new ebook I'll talk about in a second, but you asked for it, the sit-up push, 14 days to better sit-up scores. If your sit-ups suck, and I mean, 50 to 60 in a 2-minute test or below, this one's for you, because the way it works is it teaches you how to do a pace of sit-ups, and you're working day 1 through 4. You're basically take your max, let's say it's 50, and you multiply it by 3, so you owe 150 sit-ups every day for 10 days straight. And there's each things that you do 30-second sets for the first 4 days, you do 1-minute sets for the next 4 days, you try to hit some 2-minute sets for days 9 and 10, and then you take 3 days off, day 11, 12, 13, and you test on day 14. And it works really well. Seen people go from 55 to 95 before. Just had somebody this week do it, and they were stuck in the 50s, and now they're high 80s. So that's a good one if you got to still take sit-up tests. Regular military folks or sit-ups are kind of done for them. They do more plank posing now. But all the PSTs out there are still doing are still doing sit-ups. Navy PST, for instance, is still doing sit-ups. FBI fitness test, still doing sit-ups. There's a whole bunch out there still are. How long do you tread in buds typically? Either when they specifically do treading for some reason, or it's just part of a training not tested specifically. My suggestion is get good at being able to tread for 10 minutes. 10 minutes is a good above average standard time of treading. We usually do it every day that we swim. My guys have a choice. They can swim 500 as a warm up, or they can tread 10 minutes with no hands. That is our warm up for swimming. It's vertical swimming, so it's a really good warm up. So it is put into the workouts every day. If you want to swim with me, you're either swimming a 500 or you're treading water for 10 minutes. That is a great way to warm up. Or you could save it for the cool down and do one or the other. So you can warm up with a 500, cool down with a 10-minute tread. Either way, make it part of your swim workouts every day. Highly recommend it. And when you have fins on leg days, do it with fins and just constantly flutter kick. Or you can mix in a scissor kick every now and then. Maybe even hold a weight if you want. That's pretty tough to do, but you need to get used to that as well. There's 2 tread tests at Buds. One's without fins, one's with fins and weight. And yeah, you probably have like a 12-pound weight vest and scuba tank on. Not that that's going to be heavy, but it's just awkward on your back. So you gotta practice with it on there so you can understand that it affects your kick. If it's too low, try to get it up higher, things like that, or too tight on you. All right. Any other questions? If you guys are still hanging around watching this thing, smash that like button over there. This thing runs on likes. You know what I may do? I may do a book giveaway for you guys. So the drill is, if you guys know, whenever you see this book giveaway sign pop up, you have to be first to say, send it to me, right? In the thing. So I'm not going to tell you when I'm doing it. Just pay attention. And when I do the book giveaway banner, then it is your job to say, send it to me. I don't have a yoga book. Let's see. Let me share another swim. This time I'll go to show you some old ones. Somebody mentioned about a leg kick. Let me see if I have my kickboard drill. So the way we do it, in fact, you mentioned about getting a better kick. I'm going to answer that with a article that I wrote called Fix Your Kick. If your kick is messed up, what do you have to do? You have to fix your kick. So read this article and you'll see a great workout in there that helps you fix your kick. And it's using, I don't have a yoga book. I don't have a yoga book. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, read that article. Bud Stud in the fleet applying to go back. Any advice? Yeah. Work harder than you did before and get on a program, work on your weaknesses. The good news for you is that you have some insight on what those weaknesses may be. And do your best to get there. Be a good sailor while you are, while you are scratching your way to get back. Problem with, trying to get back is your groups get full. The rate that you're in may not let you go. I've seen it happen every year. can't get back because your year group's full and your rate won't let you go, even though you might have best PST scores ever. But you do need great PST scores. You need, chain of command support when you put up that chit, and keep moving. All right, let's see. When should you start incorporating breath holds in your workout? How far out from basic would you start? I'd be honest with you, I never incorporated breath holds at all at buds. So I don't recommend it. I mean, you can play around with it, but I just wouldn't do it underwater ever. People die every year. In fact, if you Google Spec Ops candidate, Navy SEAL candidate dies, breath hold, pool, seen it happen for the last 25 years. Somebody dies every year just about holding their breath underwater, see who can hold it under longest. Even with their buddy sitting on top. They're like, damn, he's really holding his breath a long time. Yeah, and didn't go get him. So that happens. So it's just dangerous. Don't even do it underwater. If you're going to do it on land. And work on your underwater technique, not necessarily your uh, ability to hold your breath. So if you can do it in a good, efficient technique, you probably won't even be winded by the time you finish. You're really holding your breath for like 45 seconds, right? So, so underwater swim, Stu Smith. I got a couple videos out there. Got some that's pretty good. So I'm going to show you how I do it right here. You guys, I'm going to share the screen. And the one thing I try to do when I am swimming underwater is be as efficient as possible. All right. So check this out. So, and I'm not a great swimmer. I mean, I'm good. I can swim a 7, probably still now, about 730, 500. My best is a 640. But, um, you know, I'm not a competitive swimmer. Never have been. But you can see here, it's all about holding that glide. I personally like a scissor kick. Sometimes I do a little breaststroke kick just to see how I do with it. I'm not the best breaststroker. But as you can see here, it's all about pull, glide, and kick glide. And then I come up here because the pool won't let me do 50s. So you can see it's pull glide, kick glide. Throw a little dolphin kick in there right after I do a breaststroke kick, or before. It's up to you, however you want to do it. I find that this method to be pretty helpful. What else do I have in here? I think I'm just talking. All right. So how about that, huh? Don't even have to hold your breath that long. Let's see. Interested in the CCT in AFSW. Heard they ruck upwards of 70 pounds. Yes, that is true. So, yeah. And I heard it's good advice to not ruck above 1/3 of your body weight, which would be 50 pounds. I will tell you this. You might have heard that, but you're going to ruck a lot more than 50 pounds. So, in fact, you'll probably ruck 100. You're going to go over half your body weight easily with rucking. So, my advice, as with anything, whether you are progressing with mileage or you're progressing with weight, is actually progress logically. Like, if you're at 50 pounds right now, keep it at 50 pounds for a month. right? And I typically only ruck on leg days for my guys who really need to ruck. So that's 2 times a week, maybe a third max, but it's very rare we would ever do a third ruck. So it's usually 2 times a week we will ruck. And that's a progressive ruck each week where we just build up, try to build up to like a 10-mile ruck. And, it takes time. You got to put in the time on those things and get used to it. So there's some rucking videos in there. People who have done like this workout right here may not be the best for the CCT, other than you got to take that IFT, and there is some water component to you. But people who have done well in the CCT world went with this one, and they just turned into like Ranger SF candidates because they were rucking so much, and they did real well with the rucks. So that is something that I would consider, you know, treating your training a little bit more Army Marine Corps-ish than Air Force, and put on that ruck and get after it. What's the best way to prepare for SOAS while in college? Train? I don't know. I mean, I trained for SOAS while in college, and we'd work out in the morning. We would try to swim at lunch. I'd play rugby in the afternoons, and we'd try to run or swim after rugby practice. Sometimes we'd lift. You got to fit it in the day whenever you can. I mean, sometimes it's 2, 3 short workouts in a day. If you don't have a sport practice, you probably have a little more time to fit that in a little bit better. But it's doable. Do you know anything about OMOD, 1 mil a day? Well, if you hadn't have told me what it was, I would not have been able to tell you what OMOD is. If so, what do you think about it perfecting performance and strength? I don't recommend it. I don't think I've ever done 1 mil a day. One, I like to eat. Two, eating gives me energy. Eating also allows you to recover. But if you want to be thinner, eat less. That's one way to do it. At the end of the day, you burning more calories than you're consuming is going to help you lose weight. Now, I personally like to have a little more nutrients than just 1 meal a day. If I can get it all into one gigantic meal, I could probably handle that. But put it this way, I don't have enough experience with 1 meal a day affecting performance and strength. I do know that if you're only eating 1 meal a day, it will absolutely affect performance and strength, depending on what you're trying to do. Like those guys going through ranger training are getting 1, 2 MREs a day, and they got a ruck on their back for 20 hours. It doesn't matter how many times you eat that, it's going to affect your performance when you're working that hard. You add in a 1 meal less, it really affects your performance. So really kind of depends on the amount of activity you're doing. If you're going to the gym for 30 minutes, going to throw a little lift on, 1 meal a day is great. Throwing in a little cardio, probably fine too. Any tips on trying to keep your PSTs good while going through boot camp? Yeah, we mentioned something about that earlier, and you just got to work out before the day starts or before bedtime. Get out of your bed and start doing sit-ups on the floor, push-ups on the floor. If you can get up a little early and do some burpees and squats and lunges and wall sits, that's about the best you can do. There are a few opportunities to run, but not that many. I mean, you may literally run in 8 weeks 10 to 15 miles total. Not 10 to 15 miles a week, 10 to 15 miles total in Navy boot camp. You'll march, but you won't run much. That's the way it works. All right, so we are almost done here. Does anybody have any more questions. You guys asked some good questions today. I think I answered one of your questions and turned it into an article the other day. Let me see if I can find it. I had asked about, let's see. Oh man, this is funny. Since you just asked, I'm going to send you this article here because I get this question at least 3 times a week. And so I wrote an article about it, and it is titled, What You Should Do If You're Worried About Deconditioning During Navy Boot Camp. How about that? Yeah, so that was an article I wrote from you guys. Trying to see if I did another one. I don't think I did. I think that was the big one I answered last week because it was pretty commonly asked last week, and it always is. I probably get that question 10 times a month for years. Let me see what other questions we have here. I guess that's it. All right, folks, I gotta go. I did forget one thing though, and that was this. So it's a race now. So you guys remember what I told you to type in? Has to be those words, or you're not eligible for the book giveaway. So we're going to say, okay, we got to send it to me, send it to me, send it to me. All right, so I will say this. There's a catch. If you are overseas, I'm not sending you a book. I will send you an ebook of your choice. Not sending you a book because it cost me like $20 to ship you a book overseas. But I will ship you, if you're local, meaning in the United States, I'll mail you one of these books. So let's go. I'm going to go with the top 3. So let me refresh my page here. So it is done. I got more than 3 here. And it looks like Nocturnal is 1. So I want you to email me, everybody who I'm about to say here. In fact, we'll do Caden Divine is number 2. And Victor Barkan, who I know is from France, I'll send you an ebook of your choice. You just let me know which ebook you want. I will send it to you. And my goal was to send 3 books, but it looks like I'll send 3 books and an ebook. So, Kavosh, with your last question there, you are also the last guy I'm going to send a book to. So we got 3 books and 1 ebook. I need you guys to email me, stu@stewsmith.com. Put your name, address, zip code, city, town, city, state, zip code under there. And let me know which book you want. Okay. I will give you a choice of books. You got Marine Corps Special Ops, Navy SEAL Phase 2, Navy SEAL Grinder PT, Army Ranger SF, and you got the Air Force Special Warfare. So you got Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Special Ops books. However, I do have 2 seasonal tactical fitness periodizations if you want a winter lift cycle or a spring cycle that we are doing now, by the way. We're doing that spring cycle now. So you need to email me, stu@stewsmith.com. Punch that like button. I appreciate it. And I'll be back next week and we'll do this again. I do have some other books I need to give away. So if you guys are interested, I'll give them away next week. All right, folks. Until then, go to stewsmithfitness.com. Use the live. In fact, here is a little gift for you if you did not win something. use the live15 coupon code, save 15% off any programming, and I will send you what you need. Don't forget, got a CSS critique page over at TikTok, StuSmith50. I try to put videos on there every week or two, or two every week at least, and got over 100 over there now, well organized, and you can just pick and hunt and pick what you need. All one-stop shop. All right, folks. I will see you later. You guys have a good one.